Okay, good morning friends. Today I am going to explain about the complex tissue. So complex tissue is also permanent tissue. So this complex tissue, it has the same, the tissue which having the more than one kind of cells is called as a complex tissue. So this complex tissue are all types of cells in this tissue are of cells acts as an what is that a functional unit, and they can carry on a common main function that is done by this tissue. So I am a complex tissue. Complex tissue is a permanent tissue. It having more than one kind of cells. All types of cells act as a fundamental function. They can, and these complex tissues are two types. What are they? First one is xylem and second one is phloem. Xylem and phloem. The complex tissue are two types. What are they? Xylem and phloem. Okay. So here complex tissue, it has more than one kind of cells. సో ఒకదానికంటే అనేకమైనటువంటి అంటే ఒకదానికంటే రెండు నుండి మూడు నుండి నాలుగు రకాల కణాలు అన్నీ కలిసి ఒక సంక్లిష్టమైనటువంటి కణజాలాన్ని ఉత్పత్తి చేస్తే దాన్ని సంక్లిష్ట కణజాలం, దాన్ని కాంప్లెక్స్ టిష్యూ అని అంటాము. సో ఇవన్నీ కలిసి ఒకే రకమైనటువంటి విధిని నిర్వర్తిస్తాయి. ఏంటిది? సో ద కాంప్లెక్స్ టిష్యూ ఇట్ హ్యావింగ్ ద మోర్ దాన్ వన్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ సెల్స్. సో ఒకదానికంటే అనేక రకాల కణాలను కలిగి ఉంటుంది ఈ కాంప్లెక్స్ టిష్యూ. సో ఇవన్నీ కలిసి ఫండమెంటల్ ఫంక్షన్ ఏంటిది అన్నాను అంటే ఒకే రకమైనటువంటి ఫండమెంటల్ ఫంక్షన్ను ఇవి నిర్వర్తిస్తాయి. సో దేర్ ఆర్ టూ టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ కాంప్లెక్స్ టిష్యూ. వన్ is xylem and second is phloem. So if you can see the xylem, so xylem is a main water conducting tissue. Xylem is a main water conducting tissue, and also xylem can give the mechanical support to the plant. It gives the mechanical support to the plant body on the basis of the development of xylem. On the basis of the development of the xylem is of two types. What are they? Primary xylem and secondary xylem. Primary xylem and secondary xylem. On the basis of the development, on the basis of the development, this xylem is again recognized into two types. What are they? Primary xylem and secondary xylem. Secondary xylem. Okay. So on the basis of development, this xylem is two types. One is primary xylem and second one is secondary xylem. So what do you mean of primary xylem? The primary xylem, it is derived from the procambium. And also the primary xylem is differentiated into protoxylem and metaxylem. The primary xylem, it is differentiated into protoxylem and metaxylem, and it derived from the procambium. It is derived from the procambium. So it is differentiated into protoxylem and metaxylem, and the protoxylem is the first formed part in the, and the metaxylem is the latter formed. Okay. The protoxylem, primary xylem is again two types. What are they? Protoxylem and metaxylem. So here, on the basis of the development, the xylem is divided into two types, primary xylem and secondary xylem. So what do you mean of primary xylem? The xylem which is derived from the procambium. Procambium, very very important. Procambium. The xylem which is derived from the procambium, it is called as a primary xylem. So this primary xylem, again it is identified into two types. One is protoxylem and second one is metaxylem. The xylem which formed initially, that is called as a protoxylem. With the xylem which is formed later the formation of the protoxylem, then it is called as a metaxylem. So here the metaxylem and protoxylem, they are the one on the basis of the arrangement of the protoxylem, on the arrangement of the protoxylem and metaxylem. The xylem again it is of three types. What are they? First one is exarch xylem, second one is endarch xylem, and third one is mesarch xylem. So for example, if you can see, for first one is exarch, second one is endarch, third one is mesarch. So this protoxylem again it is based on the position of the protoxylem. Based on the position of the protoxylem, the protoxylem it is again identified into three types. What are the first one is exarch, then the second one is endarch, third one is mesarch. So what do you mean of endarch? So this endarch type of protoxylem we can see in only, what is that? The dicot roots and monocot roots. In the root of dicot and monocot, we can see this endarch type of protoxylem. Then endarch xylem, and second xylem is exarch. So in this exarch and endarch. So in the monocot root and dicot root, we can see the exarch type of xylem, and second one is, what is that? Endarch type. The endarch type of xylem we can see in the stem of the dicot and monocot. In the stem of dicot and monocot. So here in this endarch, what is that? The protoxylem towards the inner side. The protoxylem is towards the inner side, and the metaxylem is present towards the outer side. So it is called as a endarch xylem. So here, for example, exarch means, so the protoxylem is towards the outside and metaxylem is towards to the inside, then it is called as exarch. So we can see this type of xylem in monocot and dicot roots. But what do you mean of endarch? In this endarch, the protoxylem it is towards to the inside, and so it is inside, and this is the protoxylem and this is the metaxylem. So metaxylem it inverts it outside and protoxylem is inside. So it is called as a endarch type of xylem. So this type of endarch type of xylem we can see in the monocot stem and dicot stem. And third one is mesarch. So if you can see the mesarch, so mesarch type in this protoxylem is present middle and metaxylem is present of either side of the protoxylem. This is known as the mesarch type, mesarch xylem. So we can see in cycas stem also, cycas stem and selaginella stem. So mesarch type. So what do you mean of mesarch? So in this mesarch, so the protoxylem it is situated in middle of that, and towards both side metaxylem is situated. So the protoxylem is middle one, and the both side the metaxylem, these are the metaxylems. metaxylem. So the xylem, metaxylems, it is situated either both sides of the protoxylem, then it is called as a mesarc type of xylem. So this type of mesarc type of xylem we can see in Cycas and also Selaginella plants, Cycas and Selaginella plants. So this is something about the primary xylem. So what do you mean of secondary xylem? Now I am going to explain about the secondary xylem. So the secondary xylem, it is formed after this type of xylem is formed for the cambial cylinder. So actually the newly formed cells are cut off towards inside and develop into a secondary xylem. The secondary xylem, it consists of a different types of elements. What are they? Trachary elements. They are trachary elements. They consisting of tracheids and vessels. And second one is fibers, and third one is xylem parenchyma. So first one is, what is that? Trachary elements. So the trachary elements that consisting tracheids and vessels. Now I am going to explain about what is secondary xylem. The secondary xylem, it consisting how many type of? Four type of elements. What are they? First one is trachary elements. Trachary elements. Second one is fibers. Third one is fiber parenchyma. Fiber parenchyma. So these trachary elements are two types. What are they? First one is tracheids and second one is vessels. Okay. So here you may see here. So the secondary xylem, it is developed after the secondary development. When the plants taking into the secondary development, when they are getting the secondary development, automatically the secondary xylem, it develops into the plant body. So here the xylem, secondary xylem, it consisting different types of elements. So first one is the trachary elements. So the trachary elements are two types. One is tracheids and vessels, and third one is fibers, and fourth one is xylem parenchyma. Not the fibers, xylem parenchyma. This is the xylem parenchyma. Xylem parenchyma. So here the xylem parenchyma, it is a living tissue. Xylem parenchyma is a living tissue. It is situated both sides of the fiber cells, and it would like to participate in the conduction of the water and also minerals. Then now I am going to explain about the trachary elements. These trachary elements are two types. One is tracheids and second one is vessels. So tracheids is an elongated cell with tapering ends. Tracheids are elongated cells. The tracheids are the elongated cells with tapering ends, and it consisting of lignified wall. These tracheids, they consisting the lignified cell wall. So it becomes the dead due to the presence of the lignified cell wall. These tracheids are the dead cells. So they will become as a dead cell at the maturity of the time. So the tracheids are connected to one another laterally. These tracheids they are connected one to another laterally, and bordered pits are found in the cell wall in the rows. The bordered pits are present in the cell wall of the rows. So the tracheids proved mechanical strength. They can prove as a the tracheids. They can prove the mechanical strength to the plant, and presence of the tracheids is regarded as a primitive. The presence of the tracheid, the having of the tracheid cells is also one of the primitive character of this plant. So these are present in pteridophytes. These tracheids are present in pteridophyte and gymnosperms. So it is these tracheids are absent in angiosperms, but in Drimys and also Trichodendron. Drimys and Trichodendron, the tracheids are present in Drimys and Trichodendron. So these tracheids are useful in conduction of the water and minerals salts. So this is something about the tracheids. Then second one is vessels. So the vessels are found in the angiosperms. The vessels are found in the angiosperm, but is not found in Winteraceae family. They didn't found in the Winteraceae family, and also Trichodendroceae, Winteraceae and Trichodendroceae. In this family, these vessels are absent. So they have. So these vessels are known as a vessel-less angiosperms. So the Winteraceae family member and Trichodendroceae family members, the Winteraceae and Trichodendroceae are the angiosperms families. So these families they are not having these vessels. Hence these Winteraceae and Trichodendroceae family members are all known as a vessel-less angiosperms. Vessel-less angiosperm. So the vessel is a long tubular conducting structure of xylem. So vessel is it is a very long and tubular and water conducting structure. So here the vessels are they are connected end to end. The vessels, they are connected to one vessel and another vessel, they are connected to one to another end. So these vessels are dead at the maturity of the time. So the pores which are present at the end walls of the vessels are called as a, what is that? Perforation plates. These are called as a perforation plates. So the two types of perforation plates are present. So they are simple perforation plates having only one large pore, and the compound perforation plates having the many pores. So it is in vessel elements. The secondary wall is formed over the primary wall, and the first formed wall is known as a primary wall, and later one another wall is formed over the primary wall, and this is called as a secondary wall. So the secondary wall exhibits the different types of deposition of the cell wall. So they are on the position of on the basis of the deposition of the secondary cell wall. So they are how many? Nearly five types are there. One is angular thickening, second one is spiral thickening, third one is scalariform thickening, fourth one is reticulate thickening, fifth one is pitted thickening. So what do you mean of angular thickening? So angular thickening means, for example, if you can see the angular thickening, just a minute. So angular thickening. Angular thickening. So for example, it is a vessel. It is a vessel. In this vessel, the secondary wall, it is developed like this one. This is the angular thickening. This is the angular thickening. And second one is, what is that? Second one is spiral thickening. Spiral thickening. The secondary cell wall, it is, for example, it is a vessel. It is a vessel. For example, it is a vessel. So in this vessel, so like this one, like this one. Okay, the secondary wall, it is deposited in a spiral manner, then it is called as a spiral thickening. For example, the secondary wall is formed in a form of a spiral and the primary on the primary wall. Then third one is scalary form. Scalary form. So this for example, in secondary wall are formed as a transverse band in a ladder-like structure. For example, it is a vessel. So it is a vessel. So in this vessel, the secondary wall material, it is deposited in a scalary form on the primary wall. For example, what are they? For example, this one and this one, this one, this one. So like this one. So the secondary wall material, it is deposited on the primary wall in a ladder shape, structure. Then fifth one is reticulate. It is a reticulate thickening. The secondary wall material is formed in the form of net-like structure. Then fifth one is pitted thickening. The secondary wall is formed in the form of the pits. It is formed on the pits-like structure. So reticulate mean what do you mean of reticulate? I think you know reticulate venation. So reticulate venation is nothing but a net-like structure. So this is the net-like structure. So like this one, this is the net-like structure. So this is the reticulate formation. Then pitted mean like this one. So this is the, if you can see, it is a, for you imagine it is a vessel. On this vessel, like this one, the pits. The secondary wall material, it is deposited in a pit-like structure. Then it is called as a pitted structure. So this is something about our what is that? Vessels. Then second one is scalary form pittings. The scalary form pittings, the pits are formed in a longitudinal rows in a parallel manner. For example, opposite pitting and also alternate pitting. So this is something about the what is that? Complex vessels. So xylem vessel. Then second one is in the second one, what is that? For example, third one is fibers and fourth one is xylem parenchyma. So if you can see the xylem is the xylem fibers. The xylem fibers are associated with a xylem are called as a, the xylem fibers which are associated with a xylem is called as a xylem fibers. So these xylem fibers are long, elongated with the tapering ends. These are also long, elongated with the tapering ends. So the cell wall is made up of lignin. Then these are also dead cell because the cell wall is made up of the lignin. Hence these are also become a dead cell at the time of the maturity. Okay, they provide mechanical, these fiber. The xylem fibers, they would like to provide the mechanical strength. They would like to provide the mechanical strength to the plant body. So these fibers are of two types. What are they? Libriform fibers, and second one is tracheoform fibers. Libriform and tracheoform. 1 minute. The fibers are two types. What are they? Libriform. Fibers are two types. Fibers are two types. What are they? Libriform and tracheoform. So libriform fibers. The libriform fibers, the xylem Xylem, the fibers associated with the xylem is are called as the xylem fibers. So these are the long and elongated tapering ends cells. So the cell wall is made up of the lignin. So these cells are the dead cells. So these xylem fiber cells, they provide the mechanical strength to the plant. These fibers are two types. The libriform fibers have simple pits and the tracheoform fibers have the bordered pits. So these libriform fibers, they have the simple pits, and these have the bordered pits. So this is something about the fibers. Then fourth one is, what is that? Xylem parenchyma. So the xylem parenchyma is living tissue in the xylem. So the cell wall is made up of the cellulose. So these are helpful in the storage of the food material. So the rays in them are known as the xylem rays. So these are made of parenchyma. So they help in the lateral conduction. This is something about the xylem. Then tomorrow we will discuss about the phloem. Thank you very much. Then we will meet in the next class tomorrow. Thank you.